Howdy YouTubers, it's me, Tyler, or TC, or even T-Shadows, if you prefer. Anyway, so yeah, this is my kind of quick review on the new Avenged Sevenfold album, Hail to the King. So, this album comes out next Tuesday, August 27, 2013, but it was available for streaming on Monday through iTunes, and it's also on YouTube, even though it gets copyrighted and thrown down. But anyways, so yeah, I was very excited to see this on the internet and on iTunes, and I streamed the whole thing. I've listened to this album probably at least 10 times over the past few days. It's just a really good album. Save that for later. So now, few things I want to get out of the way. Number one, I'm not going to repeat myself all the time on these songs. I loved all the solos, to be honest. I'm not even joking with you. So, you're not going to hear any of that repetitiveness. And I loved also the instrumental, so you're not going to really hear any of that. So, that's that. Number two, this does not include the track St. James, because I have yet to hear it. And to my knowledge, I have not seen it anywhere yet. So, that's one song we all have to wait in anticipation for. And number three, don't go into this, if you haven't listened to it yet, don't go into this album expecting the usual Avenged Sevenfold. They really went back to their influences, and it's slowed down, simplified, but that's not a bad thing. It's really not, and I enjoyed the album. The album, I forgot to mention, the album also clocks in at about 54 minutes long. So, it's a solid 10-song track, or album, 53 minutes. So, on to the review. So we begin with the song known as Shepherd of Fire. Now, some of you may have heard that this song will be on the new Black Ops DLC. I believe it's called Origins. I haven't been paying attention because I sold my Black Ops because of PS4, Xbox One, but that's for a whole another review. Anyway, so on to the song itself. M. Shadows really did live up to the hype of the song. He said that this song would make you feel like you're getting dragged down the heck with the drums and the bells and the instrumentals, and so yeah, he promised that, and he delivered. This whole song pretty much sets the tone for the whole album, how they basically are saying, okay, listen, it's not going to be your typical Avenged Sevenfold album. We're really going to simplify it. We're going to show you our roots, and we'll see what happens from there. So, Shepherd of Fire, good song, great drumming by Aaron, I will say that. And this also goes for the next track too, but a lot of people have been saying, you know, Aaron, he's not really a good drummer, he's too simple, he's not good, he can't play Avenged Sevenfold. Well, clearly, folks, for those of you that criticize him, clearly you haven't seen him live. I've seen him live 3 times. Let me just say, while he's not at the level of the Rev, he's below it, but he's still a very, very good drummer, and he can roll with Avenged Sevenfold. Like, I'm happy that they kept him as a permanent member. I mean, yes, he is no Jimmy, but we need to keep Avenged Sevenfold alive, so they got themselves a good drummer who could definitely roll with them, who could play their songs, as I'm going to guess he's been over 100 times with them on tour, so between the beginning of 2011 up until now. So, for those of you that are criticizing Aaron, don't! He's good! Get over it! Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. So, next track, Hail to the King, which is their title track. Very AC/DC-esque intro, like Thunderstruck-ish type. Very good. And it builds up. It's about the king, or the unnamed king of who knows where, basically ruling over his people, and people have none of their freedoms, until finally the henchmen rise up and dethrone him, and there's a new king, and the cycle starts again. So, this track has probably been reviewed numerous and numerous of times between July 15th when it was released up until this point. So I'm not gonna. This is not gonna be like too long of a review on this song. But overall, very good song, very good title track. Also sets the tone for the whole album, and yeah, 5 minutes long, much like Shepherd of Fire, and so now doing time. That's the next song on this album. Very Guns N' Roses-esque song. The shortest track, also, clocking in at about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, about that. Very good, like I said, Guns N' Roses. And I also heard a little bit of Billy Idol in that. Like, I'm trying to think of the part where it goes. But if you listen to the song, you will definitely hear. It sounds like Rebel Yell. Like with his whoa, whoa, whoas. Also sounds like Axl Rose too. Which, by the way, he's a douche. So, another influenced song on the album that you could tell right off the bat. Going back to the next song, This Means War. This song has received a lot of heat because, what does it sound like? Sounds like a certain song off the Black Album by Metallica. Oh, I know, sad but true. But, is that a bad thing? No, it's not. I actually really enjoy the song, and honestly, this would be kind of more uppish if I didn't spam the replay button on the preview for it back in, I believe it was like April, May-ish. But yeah, it was a solid. It's longer than Sad But True. But it sounds exact like if you go on YouTube and you type in like Sad But True, This Means War comparison. So there's a kid that has a 44-second video, and it plays first This Means War, then Sad But True. It transitions perfectly over to Sad But True. It's like crazy. But I could tell that Avenged Sevenfold and this song really wanted to do something that was kind of like cover, but with their own original twist to it. And that's what we got out of This Means War. Great song, and very Metallica influenced. Alright. Next song, probably my number one favorite off this album, Requiem. When I first heard this song, I heard the Latin chant, which is a pretty good homage to Queen. After that, it just breaks into the drums and the guitar. I was like, holy frick. I nearly pooped myself right there. It's just a great, very theatrical. It's a good 4-minute song. And, wow, I was blown away by it. This was also their, I believe it was Teaser 13 preview. I think that's what it was called. That actually came out on my birthday. The teaser did. So I was happy about that, and it was the first to feature vocals off the new album. So this song, wow. I was blown away. I actually got to download it before it was all deleted off the internet within a matter of 2 seconds. So yeah, I've been playing that song a lot, as well as the album. I played this album about 10 times now, at least. So this song always gets me. Please. And if anybody has guitar tabs, can you please upload them to Ultimate Guitar or send them to me? I really want to learn this song, at least on rhythm. It just seems really fun to play. So yeah, that's it. Now we move on to the second half of the album, which begins with Crimson Day, a slow song that also sounds like another Metallica song. What song was that off of the Black Album again? Alright, nothing else matters. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not. Again, this is another song that you could tell that Avenged Sevenfold really, wanted to do as kind of a cover, but also kind of not. And I also heard that this song, might have been written for his newborn child that was born, I believe, last year. I think that's what he said at the concert. Last, September, October. So, very nice song. I also heard in the song, some of the song, or something that sounds like the song, Shattered by Broken Dreams, which is off of their first album, Sounding the Seven Trumpet. I was like, wow, I don't know if they're doing this on purpose. Maybe they want some of their like die-hard fans to hear it. Maybe not. Maybe it's just coincidence. Probably coincidence, but it's just something, a little something I noticed about that song. So, that's one of those slower songs on the album. And so yeah. Then we go on to Heretic, which is, I think, is probably the closest to Avenged Sevenfold, like what they normally do, like with the guitars and just the way it is vocally. And so, Heretic, another good song. It also has some Iron Maiden influence. I kind of hear it in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Very good song. I think that's a pretty underrated song in the whole album. Actually, I think this song and the song that's coming up next are pretty underrated for the whole album. So that's their 7th track. So now on to their 8th, Coming Home. This song is definitely the dark horse of the album. Like, it does get a lot of love from the comments, but it doesn't really seem like they would release it as a single, which is, well, actually, now that the fans are really starting to get into the song, probably they will now, but I think when they were coming into this album, I don't think they thought that Coming Home would really be, like, a song that a lot of people would like their, like the normal, like, average Joe Avenged Sevenfold fans would, like, really enjoy it. But this is definitely a very underrated, track. And I think it has the longest solo in the whole song. I know, I said I wouldn't do anything else, but it's just a really, really, really good song. So, then we move on to the song Planets, which is basically the first part of a two-parter song, even though that's what they said. Honestly, when I heard this song, I looked out my window to make sure that the freaking Death Star wasn't, like, eclipsing the moon or anything like that. Like, it just sounds very Darth Vader-y, Imperial March, Star Wars-esque type thing. I actually think that an influence from that, they said that they were looking to old composers. There's this, song, The Planets, it's by, oh god. Let me see, real quick. Hate doing this in videos, but it's like Gustav, or it's some foreign person. Oh yes, Gustav Holst, 20th century composer, and it's like an opera-esque type thing, but this is also one of their other previews. It was called, like, hashtag All Hail Andrikos Andronicus, something like that. Yeah, screw the hashtag. Very, very good song. This is probably my second favorite off the album. It's just a freaking, I like, had to hold my poop into my book, because I was just like, wow. They really, really blew me away on that track. And it's a 6-minute track, along with Coming Home, I forgot to mention that. But it's the first part where basically, if you haven't listened to the song at all, basically the end of times, much like Requiem. And it's about, like, basically comets and the Earth's all, like, blowing up, and it's craziness. Craziness. And it follows up with the next song called Asteroid, which is a much slower song, and a lot of people were impressed by this song. It's a very slow song. As M. Shadow stated in his interview, this song is about, like, somebody and their lover floating in space, preparing to die together. It's a very moving track. It's very sad. I kind of choked up a little bit, and honestly, I don't do that, like, at all. Like, it's just, I'll tell you something about Avenged Sevenfold. They know how to get to your heartstrings. They put so much passion into their songs. They like, really know how to tug on your heartstrings on their slow songs. Like, they really care about their music. And they care about their fans, too. Like, but anyways, Acid Rain is just something else. It's otherworldly. Well, as you can imagine, you're in space, otherworldly. That's that. 6 minutes song, a very different way to close out their album. Over their past few albums, they close out on like hard songs, like Sound and Seven Trumpet close out on Shattered by Broken Trees, which was kind of hard. It was also kind of soft at the same time. Waking the Fallen ended with All Things Will End, which is heavy. City of Evil. I always get this one mixed up. Hate doing this during this freaking... Yeah, I knew it. MIA, which was also kind of a semi-soft song, but it was also heavy. They're self-titled. They ended off on Dear God, which is actually a country rock ballad. If you don't include, you know, the bonus tracks and all that. That was also a 10-minute or a 10-song track, self-titled. And then Nightmare ends on what I think is probably one of their best instrumentally sounding tracks, Save Me, which is basically a homage to the rest. That song is, if you haven't heard that song yet, then go listen to it. But yes, so that pretty much covers my kind of quick review. That's why I'm kind of going fast here. So overall, well, you have to really ask what the overall on this album is. It's a 10 out of 10, just like every other Avenged Sevenfold album. It's just great lyrically, great instrumentally, and they really, really, I mean, I wish I could hear St. James, but it is what it is. I'll have to wait till Tuesday to hear it, and so that's pretty much it. Now, coming up to me, I should be reviewing the sibling rivalry story arc between Superior Spider-Man and Scarlet Spider coming up. I didn't do this last year, even though I said I would. I believe I will be reviewing the 2013 season by week. I'm not going to be doing preseason, but I'll probably be doing the regular season if I can have some time. You know, I'm starting college as well, so it might be even more harder than last year to really get these videos. But I will try my best for you, like 10 people that actually watch this. So, comment what you think, rate, subscribe, do whatever you want. See you guys.